hide here, almost in a sort of happy style, which if it doesn't work, it's horrible. But when it does, it just looks magnificent.
They're starting on the T side. I'm happy. I'm happy. Here we go. Let's see what you got, Epsilon. Let's see why this is your map. At Endpoint, it's all on you. This is their game to prove us wrong on, and I'd love to see it. I want to see a big performance across the board. I think Emi's got great potential. Obviously, Pickles as well. Very much a fan of him as of late, and we're seeing a very default start. Endpoint, incredibly passive as well. No early little bit of a look towards Banana either. And this is pretty standard from Epsilon. Leave the bomb back by spawn, get some control towards Apps. They can fall off this, hit B if they want, try and catch any aggression off Banana. No one's actually going for that, though.
I'm interested by the CTs as well. Like, they're not going for any sort of aggression. They're just playing back all the way towards the site. Not really peeking anything. The closest player is probably Arch at the moment. And already, well, with that sort of control, they've managed to take it. The rotation can actually go back in behind and flank around towards this B site, which is just going to be absolutely horrific for the remaining CT players over towards A, who are sort of just sat back there waiting in case they do still go towards the site. But you can just see the build-up coming in at the moment from the T side as the rotation will come in from behind from Barber. They have gone a little bit early, though. I would have liked to see them wait, and somehow the CT side are actually holding this down really well. Freddy B and Barber now trying to hold on to a round which looked like it should have been theirs, but Barber on the pistols. It is what he seems to do best, and it is going to be back into this 3v2.
Yeah, Barber trying to make the difference. All surrounded. How are they doing this, though? This is a little sloppy from Endpoint.
How?
And I don't know how you lose those situations. They had such an upper hand. They were actually able to do so much and then just let it slip.
Yeah, I'm sort of... That round was just ridiculous. Like, I don't know how it goes so one way then so back the other way. Like a 4v2 over on the site, you sort of look at it and go, okay, this has to be Endpoint's round, even after the wrap comes in. And then you go back to it and you just see what Freddy B and Barber on those pistols just pick each player apart, and you have to wonder if they're going to be kicking themselves. I like the HEs though. They've invested a lot into these nades, and already it's netted them an initial kill.
Yeah. So far, Endpoint still trying to make a bit of a fight out of B. 3 players there. Maeve and Cosmine sent to deal with that. Nice little dink comes through, but it doesn't particularly do too much. Maeve's the only one who's got to be a little worried here. You don't want to lose out. But again, they are only the UMPs, so it's not the end of the world.
The other thing to mention is that Endpoint actually haven't invested much into this at all. They're saving all their money on their CT side. Of course, it's not like the T side where you can get a bomb plant and wait yourself around and then come back in with those sort of AKs in the next. They won't have anything in the next round either, unless they go for a very risky sort of FAMAS buy, which I'm not really expecting to see. It means that they are just going to have all that utility, and for me at least, that is one of the most important things when you're sat on this CT side of Inferno. You want to have those nades for Banana, you want to be able to deep smoke, and you basically want to make sure that you can stop the T's just taking so much control. As we've already seen from Epsilon so far, in the pistol round, they're up Banana within the first 20 seconds of the round.
There's 3 alive. Hopefully they do recover the rifle. Can't see that right now as we're staring lovingly into Charlie Pickle's eyes. And yeah, let's see if they did. I'm not sure if they did recover the AK. I think they did. Gonna drop that one back over towards Barber.
More nades.
Yeah, you might as well get a little bit. They've done a fair bit of damage and not particularly impacting the overall money. No one's buying too low. About 2.5 is the lowest we've got currently. And decent utility on Epsilon, and I hope to see that utilized. I don't want to see them kind of go down needlessly or get caught off guard. That's what the mollies are there for. It's your safety net, right? So a little bit of a play down Banana coming in from Endpoint, and so far it's been met with sheer force. No real surprises, just good positioning, nice approach, and a clean round for Epsilon. Good for what they need, really, more than anything. Smooth did have the MAC-10, unable to get much with it, but maybe you can start looking for an AWP down the line.
I like the change from Epsilon, where they just sort of, they slow down a little bit and they go, you know what, they threw all those HEs last round. Let's just wait for 10 seconds. Let's see if they throw them all again.
Yep.
They took no damage, then just run in and slaughter all the remaining players. So, as you said, decent amount of money made, but this is where all that saved cash comes in for Endpoint. They have a lot of utility. The AWP onto Imi as well, which is going to be very important when it comes to this Banana control. And they've actually sent 3 players early, but look how quick the T's are moving. They're straight into Imi. Already gets himself the first, but it's a trade. Leaving it onto Mighty Max, and he goes down to Cosmine as well.
Yeah, and Epsilon are just running into this. They're not really backing away at all. You can see they just want to run over the players. Now they have been slowed down finally. Good initial impact. The rotate's there for Endpoint as well. You've still got Jess coming over. But now, the T side, the problem is at this point, they've still got utility and they've got a 3v3. So it kind of sits favorably to them because they can just hit a site together. And sadly for Endpoint, they don't know which site that's going to be. So it's a bit of a gamble here. You can see, I think that's going to be Cryptix trying to float between the sites to get which one's going to be the correct one. He's going to try and commit towards B, but that's not quite where Epsilon are eyeing up. Now, it'll be given away pretty soon, I can imagine, with the mollies and smokes raining in, but they're going in pretty dry right now. They're not giving away too much. They're not putting too much utility in. There is a one player who can change this all. If they do eventually hit towards A, it's going to be Charlie Pickles who has to stop it, or they could wrap through spawn. Plenty of options left.
You can see Epsilon pretty much have all of the cards at the moment, especially if they go rotating round. Pickles is going to be left in a horrible predicament as he'll have absolutely no information until the point they're right on him. There we go. He actually peeks out and spots Barber. That gives him something, but he goes down without a frag. That needed to be a kill to give his teammates a chance in this rotation. Now you have to wonder, is it really worth fighting this? There may even be an AWP on the floor unless Smooya actually stole that earlier, in which case that means they can just save onto their rifles and at least try and do something in the next round.
Yeah, Smooya, I think, got that one off of Imi, so again, good little pickup for him. 2 rifles saved over for Epsilon as well outside of that, and then obviously Endpoint keeping theirs close to chest. And you can't really blame them. They kind of need this. Their money's not going to be in a great position. There's no chance of a real fight here. I doubt they could be able to chase that far. And you can see, for now, all quiet on the faces. Not much of a response. It's still very early in the game, of course. Not much to be seen. It was the first rifle round, sure, but again, it's a long old game. And we're just seeing a really nice approach there in the end from Epsilon.
Yeah, not throwing anything too complicated yet though. Just a straight rush up towards that B site. Take the fight early on. They win the initial fight, although it's a 2-for-2 trade. You have to say that when you're on the T side, as we saw, they can just split apart one of these sites and, well, in the end, it doesn't seem to matter too much. It's actually going to be an investment here from the CT side, although Imi, of course, wanting to get that AWP, will just go for a deagle in this round, but the rest of the team actually get some UMPs. Not a whole lot of utility, so it is going to make things difficult actually slowing down these pushes, and you can already see Cosmine after last round, he gets 2 peeking up the edge of Banana, and he's going to do the same again. Already so much map control taken, and the rest of the team are just going to be waiting, expecting aggression in this round based off the fact that we know they don't have a full buy from Endpoint, and so the rest, as you can see, are just watching.
Yeah. Cosmine starting to test out. And they're just trying to draw away the utility. There's very limited amounts on Endpoint. So if they get that away, Smooya, come on, mate. It's still early. Still got 50 seconds to go, but you can see the Endpoint are holding on to their utility as best they can. It's a matter of patience, and it's quite hard, it seems, for Epsilon to retain that.
Yeah, we are going to have 3 players around this A site. Imi seemingly waiting for that rotation. The bomb's all the way still back in spawn, so just waiting for the picks to come in before they actually make their move. Can be quite risky. There are still 2 rifles and a couple of UMPs in play as well, so still a chance here. With 30 seconds left on the clock, the bomb still has not moved. It's going to have to be picked up. Eventually, Maeve is going to go running for it as they do look to take onto this A site, but if a couple of kills go back the other way, it could be a problem, but again, they've got this arch control. They're going to go wrapping. The fight comes in. Already it's left down to just Jesp on the site. He does have a rifle. There's only 10 seconds left, but again, he goes down within seconds. The bomb will be planted, and the remaining 2 players are left to try and do what damage they can. Imi, no armor, peeks in, and Smooya will take that kill all day long. And Pickles just trying to juggle that rifle out.
Yeah, trying to keep hold of it as best he can and get away. I doubt he's going to be... They could chase this down, I guess, but again, you don't want to lose that AWP on Smooya. And the thing is, with Epsilon, that was a lovely late in the game B hit, so kind of surprising they were able to pull it off so smoothly. But again, if they're just landing shots, if they're feeling confident that they can go for these late in the round plays, then it's going to happen. It's going to be quite consistent. And considering the Endpoint then, they held on to their utility. They did well, but they were still working with less than they needed to handle even, an even round. So it's going to be tricky for them even in the future to try and control this. It seems I've got to say, I want to see Endpoint on a full buy again. Once that happens, we can kind of look at their options. Because, I guess if you talk to a lot of players about this one as well, it always come down to it's all about money, this map, especially on CT side. If you get that utility, if you get mollies, if you get nades, you can actually control the map. Then you can start fighting back. Then you can start taking over the real estate. Otherwise, you're always going to be playing this kind of catch-up game. You're never going to get the full information. You won't get any control across the map. So, for them, starting point for Endpoint is getting that money beside them. They've got a decent enough purchase here, and this is going to be a timeout, I can imagine, for them. Or at least I'd hope so. So they can address some of these issues, whether it be, okay, let's try and get a bit of banana control going. But then again, if you're Epsilon, you'll probably keep that in mind. You'll probably start considering that. So do they change it up then, you know, on that round coming back into it, you go, all right, screw it, let's just do something completely different to throw them off, you know, get rid of that money, because it's a rocky road now for that CT side. If their money's, you know, really hindered and going back up and down and they're losing these rounds quite, I guess, one-sidedly, you know, it's not exactly close rounds. It's going to be pretty tough for them to recover. So hopefully they've come up with a decent theory as to how they can approach this and the things they need to adjust going forward.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I want to see some sort of challenger banana. I think the way that they've been playing it so far has basically just meant Cosmine is already posted up. They have the whole portion of the map without any challenge at all. And one of the things I quite like to see is maybe have Imi go back there with the AWP. Have him set up, then you can start rotating players off. You can have a heavier defensive A, and normally if you spot an AWP, most of the time you're not going to challenge it on banana, because unless the person is missing shots, it really does set you up very nicely for those sort of rounds. Either way, Imi actually could be over towards the A side, looking to try and challenge in mid.
I think it's a lovely idea to start off with. That's going to catch out Freddy B, who just wasn't maybe expecting that angle coming out. And he's going to punish that. Perfect pick. Nothing lost either, but a very passive look towards B. Again, not challenging it. You can still see all the utility pretty much left on the B players. I guess Jesp used a little something, maybe a flash and a nade, but beyond that, they still have the molly, they still have the smoke. But you can see Smooth's right at the door, AWP in hand. He can just, you know, walk into this essentially, and Jesp could be in real trouble. I think you got Max playing at the back of Fountain, kind of by dark spot. There we go. Smooth put to the test now, creeping his way forward. Bit of timing could come into this. If Jesp wide peaks on it, there's going to be trouble afoot, but he's going to spot one. That's going to show up on radar. Smooth, can he get out? Yes, he can. Safely retreated, and Jesp, about as useful as a chocolate teapot.
A little bit too slow to react, and now they're going to start throwing nades his way. Smooya finishes him off as well, leaving it down to just 3 players remaining, and I'm almost certain they're going to just have to save this one once again. 4 players over on that B site. No real chance of a retake. They do have the utility to give it a go, but it's just not worth the risk at this point. Keep your money, try and get back towards that buy in the next round. Of course, they'll be able to drop the rifles. A lot of their players still have full utility as well, so not even going to have to skimp in that resort. So not the end of the world, but still, that just seemed like miscommunication there from the CT side. If somebody goes down, especially where Smooya was, like him being that far out onto the site, that should be an easy kill.
Good work from Mr. Pickles. Going to find Smooya, cost him the AWP at least. Epsilon getting back into this, and any gun lost for Endpoint is actually a bit of a tragedy here, so they've got to try and keep hold of these. Imi as well, desperately holding on, but they're losing out on players, and Imi might be hunted out as well. No, he's going to try and stay safe. No one close enough to take it away, so he will keep that, but the rest lost out on theirs, so we can't see the money right now because we're staring at Imi's forehead. And there's obviously the other AWPer on the other side, Smooya there, who had such a great impact in the last round, just evening things out after that first pick on towards Freddy B. So hopefully we can see the money in this round, see how they're suffering at this point. Still able to fashion a buy, a little bit of a loss on Cryptics. They're not able to get a full rifle up, and obviously Mighty Max as well. But at the end of the day, it's still enough to be able to put up a fight, and they need the utility. And there we go. Imi's going to make a switch up, and it looks like Smooya's already predicting this. There it is, the outplay. Lovely read there from Smooya. So far, dominant performance with the AWP.
Yeah, the second he's had it is in hand, he's been impactful, and, well, the one good thing you have to say is that Mighty Max didn't have a weapon, so he at least has an AWP. The problem now, though, the wrap once again coming in. Smooya already gets his second kill, leaving just 1 player. And look at the rotation. Jesp is going to be walking straight into the... Is he actually going to go past them? They're just waiting. They're so patient. No information given. The Arch wasn't in the control of the CT side, and now Mighty Max, he's completely surrounded, has to turn around, does manage to get one, switches to the Deeg, but Maeve will be there to trade effectively. And while Pickles... he's now the only one left alive, and again, that's another round where you sort of look at it and go, why was nobody even communicating slightly there to say, okay, we don't have control of Arch, maybe don't just run straight.
Well, it looks like Jesper's just checked out. You know what I mean? Like, he was literally running without hand on mouse. You literally saw him not looking, or he was looking elsewhere or thinking about other things, and that's simply not good enough. But Smooya there with the outplay, it seems that he knew that Imi might have wanted to go for that little bit of a look down banana, try and change things up, because, well, to be fair, it's a decent idea from Imi to go for that. They were losing control on banana, you know, on a regular basis. They may try and, you know, stem the bleeding, hedge the bets. And straight away, Smooth's there staring at you like, well, nice try, mate. I'm 1 step ahead of you. And so far he is. So credit where it's due. He's doing very nicely with that. But yeah, it's more for Endpoint. They look tilted. They don't look like they're all there at the moment. It looks like a little bit of a lax performance, but obviously map 2 more of their choice. But so far, not exactly a brilliant start to the day.
In the corner, free kill for Mighty Max. Cosmine has been there almost every single time, so this time they will be able to take some control and get a rifle as well. Pickles is just going to be waiting. The rest of the team still making a bit of presence known, and the bomb actually alone over towards the other side of the map.
Yeah, I don't know why Cosmine was in that spot. It was completely untradeable. He was here very much on his own, and yeah, I don't know what you're really putting yourself in for, but again, Smooya to save the day, it seems. AWP aplenty, and he's feeling it. He's looking decent so far, 2 kills in this round. Now, Mighty Max did recover the rifle, but he had no armor. Neither does Jess, but they had the pistol upgrades there on the Deagle round. And that's why I'm a little surprised that Cosmine had pushed all his way up on Banana on his own. Smooya's just free farming right now. This is lovely. And he is a player that will respond well to getting eco frags, even if they are, marginally upgraded with Deagles. If he gets confident, if he starts feeling like I can land these shots, if I feel untouchable, you're going to see him do well throughout the rest of the game. So he's one of those that will respond well to it. And it looks like Barbar's already got a good idea where Jess may be, and he does. Going to take his head off, nice and easy. That's a bit of a summary for this game so far.
Yeah, I think it's one of those matches as well. Smooya just wants to destroy like his ex-teammates.
Yeah, of course.
He just wants to go into it and go, yep, this is why I left. This is what I'm here to do. And against UK teams, he always seems to be very, very confident anyway. So it's not surprising. He leads the board at the moment. Barber alongside him, although I'm pretty sure he got like 8 of his kills in the first like,
couple
3
of
rounds.
Yeah.
So maybe not go off that too much, but double AWP, switch up. They're going to go for the aggressive peek. Jess this time had enough, and well, they are going to be just around that corner. Finds the first, second going to be running in. Jess does the work, and he has support as well from Mighty Max.
Simply enough, the utility usage at the top of Banana wasn't good enough. They didn't flash up the AWP, they didn't hinder the player behind him. There was no mollies, no nades really to hamper them. Maybe getting a little bit set in their ways, Epsilon, and they are at 8-0, so you can't really blame them too much. But a quick reminder that you can't take things too lightly. And I wonder if that double AWP will have its impact again. I actually like the idea of this kind of aggressive, top of B hit coming in from Epsilon, or at least a little bit of a split, 3 players towards it. You've got to support it with that utility and the nades, and I'm wondering if they're going to kind of nuke it, right? So you get like 2-3 nades just lobbed up there, maybe a molly to the corner, and just, let's see if they actually adjust that. I'm wondering if they do. If they still go for the same thing, they know the double AWP's going to be in play. Is Jeff's going to go for the same sort of play himself? Let's see if they go for anything. No, they're going to play passive on this one, so get the utility away. I like this little boost as well. This is always nice. Get you a little bit of an angle to work with. I can never hit the shot, but, I'm hoping that Jesp can. He already proved he's doing all right thus far. But a bit of a default from Epsilon. Maybe work that utility away from Endpoint they've retained from last round.
Yeah, looking like Smooya is going to be the counter. AWP, shot is actually missed. And this gives complete control at the moment over towards this T side. Again, map control just seems to be in their name at the moment. They've been pushing pretty much everywhere. They've got apps as well. And CT side need to make some sort of response.
Well, last time this didn't go so well. It was Mighty Max, I think, playing on the fountain, and Jesp was playing over by the old the coils. And, well, Smooya was able to isolate both of them, which was the big issue. Now, this time not the case. They're going to just have a little different hold, but they've humbled them to the site, and now, sadly, for the rest of the Endpoint boys, they have no information. They don't know. They're already playing very, very dug-in CS. You can see already very passive at the back of CT Arch, one on site. Charlie Pickles, hoping that someone's got some support here for him. Oh god, if Cryptix walks the wrong way at the wrong time. They've read this wrong. They already put a player. Imi's already started to back out, playing very passive to watch, but Cryptix gonna land one towards Maeve. But there we go. Still in a good spot. No pressure coming in at the same time. Very individual from Epsilon. But they do win out for now.
Imi looking to try and take one more just before the smokes fall down, but he's not going to be able to. And this will fall into a 3v3 retake. Now, the utility for the CT side is actually pretty good. They've got a couple of kits, and the Ts have absolutely nothing left other than their aim. But so far, that seems to have been enough. We are going to see a little bit of a boost coming in. Jesp just trying to spot someone around the edge of that smoke. As it begins to fade, it seems like the CTs as well. They're all just going to try and find this pick together. Smooya just holding the angle. Don't expect him to miss from there. Finds the first, and while Barber's there to spray down the remaining 2, it's not eco frags this time. He's finished that round.
Yeah, not gonna lie. Inferno's probably one of the only maps where it's not impossible to play retakes. So they're actually pretty close. That was the one bonus. They didn't have that long old walk all the way over where you have almost no time left by the hit, but classically hard to play retake on. And has this cost them a double AWP, or can they still get this one through? Let's see what Jesp gets. Okay, they still get the double AWP, which is nice. Now let's see what Epsilon have this time around. Will they go for the same thing? Default out, 2 players slowly on T stairs. Or they go for a bit more of an attentive play. Boost again from Endpoint. Maybe getting predictable. Almost caught out Smoothie last round though, so this could be what they're going for. They had 1 shot, didn't land it, but already Epsilon's so aggressive towards middle. He's going to have a little bit of a step out here. Catches a glimpse of 1, and that's enough. Game plan now duly noted, but they get a free CT arch. They've read the play here, Epsilon. They know they've been playing passive on the sites. Deep smoke comes in, and now they know nothing. There's only 1 man let loose towards arch, but that's enough to scare the living hell out of Endpoint.
Yeah, Maeve, this is what he does best, just sneaking around the back lines and going to start running his way towards that B site. But this is all just a fake. The rest of the players are going in towards A. He'll go back with them. He's held the 2 players on the B site. And while Cryptics, he's got Pickles alongside him, they're going to have to do a lot of work. The nade may be able to finish off 1. There's a couple of low players, a lot of damage being done, but nobody dying over on this Epsilon roster at the moment. Pickles just trying to hide in the smoke, and, well, Freddy B, if there's one place he's going to be, it's going to be there.
Gotta say, I'm liking how Epsilon play this T side. Endpoint, it looks like they come up with an idea for a couple of rounds and it actually got pretty close to working. It was good. They came up with a decent theory. The double AWP was actually doing decent amounts, and they need these guns. They really need these damn guns. You can see Mighty Max, they're trying to fake the sound of him dropping, but then spraying into it, and allows Freddy B to know what's up. Now Jesp next on the chopping board, but yeah, it looked like Endpoint had a little bit of an answer with that double AWP for a while. Kind of liked it. But as soon as Epsilon read that passive hold on CT Arch, you saw them exploit. Just put 1 man there, they will just get uncomfortable, have to play into it. Jesp, oh no. Oh no. Freddy B. I'm gonna find another.
Yeah, it seems at the moment, at least from my perspective, that their Arch control is just not there. It's just not there at all. We've seen multiple times we've had Epsilon wrap all the way back round to B.
Yep.
There, Maeve actually just waits. He manages to duck in just in. So, okay, the AWP's not there. Let's just run straight through, smoke it off, and not give Imi any information. This round is actually going to have to be a flat eco out from Endpoint as well. So, insult to injury. They are just saving to get everything back. And while now, Cosmine is just going to go straight back up to that banana spot. Stack on A. It's not looking good.
Molly wasn't perfect to sandbags, but it's fine. No one was actually playing there. It's a pretty clean round. I like them using utility. I like the way they're not taking it lightly, even though it is 10-1 and you're on a decent buy against, you know, arguably what is going to be almost nothing against you. So good enough for them to do that, but they left the bomb in spawn, but they've got full control over B. They can put players in towards CT, and this should be a bit of a free farm for Freddy B if they actually push out Axe. There's the first. There's 2 players in towards the bedroom, though. Starbard's going to pan the stats out as well. So 5 alive, all good for Epsilon. This has been a little bit brutal, Tom.
I think the only thing I disagree with is the fact you said little bit. Because they're
pillow.
getting destroyed at the moment. The 1 round they had was based off an individual play from Jesp, getting a couple of kills on Banana.
Yep.
In terms of actual strategic play, I don't think there's been too much at all. They've tried to take portions of the map and nice little boosts come in, but if you're not hitting like the basic shots, there's been a couple of rounds where you sort of see Pickles in the pit and you think, okay, he gets his 1 kill, drops the bomb, maybe that, oh no, never mind, he's lost that duel even when he has an advantage. Same with the AWP, missing sort of shots that if you hit can completely change the round, and if it comes back to something as basic as that, then it's just looking like Epsilon are the better team at the moment.
I think it's not too surprising to see this on Inferno. It was kind of a little bit expected. Cosmine's having a bit of trouble though, isn't he?
Ooh.
That's not pretty. Good work from Max. Jesp now trying to keep into this. And I want them to fight for Banana. I want them to try and take control. I want them to nade down. I want the double mollies to actually hit. Max again going to find Smoothie. That's a big bit of impact. Now, the players towards A going to have to expect the response. And there it is. Lovely flashes up mid. Barbar destroys them. Emi and Cryptic's a nice idea again. The theory is fine. The execution for them is always flawed, it feels. And now Pickles is like, every single time I'm here, I can't do anything. Oh, you might be able to find Freddy. They actually line up a little bit. And Freddy's left wondering what's going on just above the smoke. Very well. There it is. The Batman.
Oh my god. Maeve just jumps down, gets 2, but it's into a 1v1. Freddy B on the site. He is the man in this tournament at the moment, though, so you have to worry for Max. He's got 8 HP, but his opponent's very low as well. Trying to just sneak around the edge of the smoke, hoping that maybe Freddy will go a little bit aggressive, which, well, Epsilon have been renowned for doing at the moment, but peeks out and it just looks too easy for Freddy. Doesn't struggle at all in that situation. 12-1, definitely the closest round we've had. And as you said, like, I like some of the strategy there, but you have to remember, they still had a 2-man advantage going into the end of that round.
And I'm pretty sure neither of the 2 players were, you know, on I guess, quad and then boosted onto the porch. No one was anti-flash. They both get caught. And even, they weren't fully blind, but, coming back in, Barbar's already got the angle. You're kind of screwed from the word go. So, again, I wanted to see Endpoint with a bit more money, but the economy's just been completely trashed here for a while. But when they have it, I want to see the fight for Banana. I want to see them, push back down. It was great play coming in between Max and Jesper. That actually worked really well. I just wish we'd seen that in the gun rounds. Obviously, you have to try and quell Smooya and push back a couple of players. Sure, that's not easy. But at least then you're not giving up everything for free. But this is nice. I think I was going to find Freddy, but instant response. Barbar destroying them. Cryptics with a CZ, though, going to get into the action. And this might be possible. Maybe. Why is the bomb in spawn?
It always is. Epsilon, they're not really playing with the bomb, but they don't need it. They really don't need it. They're pushing both sites at the same time. And while after clearing things out, I imagine they'll just go and pick that up. Although Jesp still has a chance, but again, he's running. I think he's heard the shots, but doesn't matter. Cosmeme will still win the battle. The story of the game, pretty much so far. And that'll be 13-1 absolute dominance over on this T side from Epsilon. And it's getting to the point now where you could say, win the pistol, win the game.
I've seen better CT sides from Excel. It's just, what's going on? Don't get me wrong, obviously Epsilon want to prove a point, and a couple of players obviously want to. And for Epsilon, it's a road to recovery. Let's bear in mind they came to this team, and they're not exactly the most humble guys, right? You hear the interviews coming out from certain players, let's say, who are a little bit cockier than others, but this is better. Let's see if this works. They're actually fighting on Banana, but they just get overrun in the end. Not that much damage towards Epsilon. They kind of get through. Look at it. Freddy B's a little low, sure, but the rest are fine. Cosmeme goes down, but they've got the bomb site for it. They've still got Banana control. They've got Ruins control, and they're getting shots through smoke. That feels great.
Yeah, they've got so much control over the map. It just doesn't even matter at this point. Barber only needs one bullet to finish things off. And again, it looks like they've set up correctly. I think it was actually a leg shot onto a kill coming out there from Jesp. So he did so much damage. And then Max in the corner just doesn't manage to do anything. And it's sort of like, it's been the story of their game. Maybe one player will do something that's like, okay, now we... Yep. And then the other one's just like, not even aware or not awake or just doesn't manage to do any damage whatsoever. So 14-1. There's, well, it's not a 16-0, at least, which we had a couple of weeks ago. But at the same time, I have no idea how they come back from this. I suppose at least if you go in this map and say, okay, that was a stomp, reset, and go on to yours. But at least for now, these couple of rounds is going to be interesting.
I guess you get that topic as well of, wouldn't you rather lose just a quick game? Like, all right, just get that first map out of the way. All right, we'll come back in map 2, rather than those like really drawn out OT games, and then you still lose, and you're there like, well, we've just given everything. We're all a bit mentally broken, but hopefully for Endpoint, they're not too out of this. I guess if you come into Inferno, it's not exactly a map that they're as proficient on. You kind of expect this. And for me, it's more the storyline of Epsilon getting to the point where they should have been at the start of the season. They didn't have the the perfect run.
No.
They're 2 wins, 2 draws. They were meant to have dominance, right? That was their thing. They came into this with a lot of personality behind them and a lot of cockiness and a lot of bravado, and it just wasn't there to the extent we expected. But now we're starting to see that a little bit more dominance. We're starting to see them, prove that okay, maybe there's a little bit something to see from these guys still. And sadly, it's Endpoint on the receiving end. But 14-1, Tom. Do you want to just cast this one, mate? We could just leave it if you want.
Well, you got a raid boss.
Yeah, you're a believer in Jess.
You've got a couple of nades to be thrown up, which are not really going to do too much. And Smooya already starting things off with the aggressive peek. They've actually got 3 players waiting. Smooya has doubled down, but there is at least one trade back. Barber again with these pistols, though, just going to slaughter the remaining players. And yeah, you were right. I'll give you that one.
Yeah?
I'll give you that one.
Yeah. And Barbar's feeling it. He's feeling good about this one. Always good to see. A bit of a smile on his face. It's been a bit of a testing time, of course. Turbulent, times recently for them. It's not been all smiles and all laughs. So
testing maps as well. Like I think that during the first couple of weeks we saw Cobble dropped in, and here it was like they've done that, not having it, and rightly so. We saw them. I think they lost to Reason in like dominant fashion as well. So definitely seem to be more in their stride. And well, this sort of round, okay, Cryptics at least gets Cosmeme. He has been in the wars a little bit though. It's more been the Smooya and Barber show. Like Freddy B hasn't even had to have his same sort of insane performances that we've seen so far, which is more worrying if anything.
Yeah, I guess if you're not needed to go to those depths, it's fine. You're not going to look at like, oh, this is a bad performance from Freddy. It's just like, well, everyone else has just been there quicker to destroy them. And, well, this round doesn't look too much difference. Finally, it's the Charlie Pickles show. He seems like the only one to really be fighting back when it matters. Not just those rounds where it's like, oh, it gets close. But, no, he can make differences in the game. So it's down to the 2 on the retake. Smooya and Freddy B. Freddy's got a little bit of utility to play with. No kit though, so gonna be pretty tricky as they're gonna have to go quite quick on this. One rifle on Pickles, armor on the others with the Deagles, and Smears is going for this straight through the smoke. Flash comes in, not gonna happen. Max there on the other side with the Deagle as Freddy now. Near on impossible here. Not feeling like this could work out. Good damage, but good damage doesn't do enough. 15 to now a couple more rounds for Endpoint. You know, they're back in it, Tom. It's the comeback.
Okay.
I don't believe.
Well, we are going to see a force back up from the CT side. Would expect that anyway. Maeve, yeah, he's going to buy down as well. So just basically trying to win this here and now. Not expecting them to win it, but if they did, I wouldn't be overly surprised. I'm hoping that at least maybe Endpoint can make the scoreline look a little bit more respectable. I'd maybe get it to like 6, 7, 8, and then, well, you never know. They could start to pull things back. Imi at least picking off the first in Barber. This should be a fairly simple round, although it is a full investment from Epsilon, so it means then the next round they won't have too much.
Endpoint. Let's see. Can't make mistakes. Oh, already a bit of a dink comes in. Good work from Cosmine. But still, it's a 2v4. And the only one who can really do much here is going to be Freddy B. You can hear all the steps, all the noise. You should check on this. He gets a chance, and he misses everything. Freddy B, uncharacteristic misses in that moment. He's been pretty decent thus far, but a little bit of a whiff there, to say the least. And Maeve now just going to try and play it back in, do what he can. But no, 4 alive and a bomb plant. Pretty good work from Endpoint, but please don't tell me this is going to be the infamous, you know, UK scene on CT sides. Epsilon dropped the game at this point. I've been scarred in the past, Tom.
Well, we've seen them have some very dominant halves. So versus Method, one of the 2-0 series, or I think the only 2-0 series they've had. Both maps, or at least the first one, definitely went to overtime, and we were just sort of sat there like, it was the other way around. They were winning by miles, and then it went back, and then they won. So if they manage to pull this back, not only would I be incredibly impressed just based off mental fortitude, but it really would show how bad this sort of T-sided it has been in this tournament so far. But I feel like that's basing off of not a single player in Epsilon having one of those just explosive rounds. And they've got so many players that can do it as well. I just can't believe until it hits like 14.
Yeah, no. We have seen ridiculous things, and normally in any other matter, any other game, any other situation, you wouldn't even consider it being a possibility. But we've literally seen games like this go all the way back to OT.
Yeah.
And Endpoint CT sides have infamously been pretty atrocious, to be fair, and their T sides have been decent. They play a decent game of CS on that. So we'll see. Again, this is a nice cleanup. Maybe just get themselves feeling that they can actually get the frags on the board here after a bit of an absence for a while. Cosmine now last man standing, and limited hope to get anything done.
Yeah, best case scenario here, he steals a rifle. That's pretty much all he can hope for. There is a singular man of Mighty Max, but I feel like Max would have to screw this battle up quite significantly to lose to a USP with no armor. And he's not going to, thankfully. So 15-4. Slowly building up a bit of money. Of course, the problem is you normally talk about build up of economy because if you lose a round, you can then rebuy. But in these sort of cases, they lose a round, they lose the map, so it doesn't really matter. Yep. They've got loads of money. They're going to be buying until either they lose or they bring it back again.
Yeah, and Epsilon going in on this. UMP, Famous, one kit. It's a little patched up, but it's perfectly fine. We'll see if Endpoint can, again, show a little bit of that prowess on the T side, pull this back to maybe a more respectable scoreline, but we will remember how that first half went down. Mighty Max, tendering early. You can see a little bit of a difference here. Epsilon vying for a little bit of control. Triple stack towards quad side as well, falling back away from it towards site on A, but Epsilon just have to sit back on this one.
Yeah, both teams, at least so far in this game, haven't had too much presence towards Arch, although we are actually going to see Barber rotate round and take a bit of a peek, because you don't want to allow the Ts, as we saw in the previous half, just to be able to wrap back around and take that portion of the map.
Yep.
Now, in terms of the Ts, they are just going to slowly make their way up through Banana. Again, this control has been available for both teams, but this is based off the weaponry at the moment for the CT side. And Walt Maeve now with the spot. Peek out from Cosmine, but it's a trade. And this leaves Maeve alone, and it looks like he's just going to fall back, wait for that retake.
You kind of have to at this point. Caught on the smoke anyway. Bomb goes in, default. Max playing towards Dark. He's still got Charlie Pickles on towards Banana as well.
Look at Jesp.
Yeah, Jesp on that late lurk. timing's going to be everything, and limited amounts of saving for Epsilon. So again, their money's going to be kind of depleted if they obviously don't do too... Oh, Jesp.
I like it.
He's biding his time. He's got all the information. He's just going to have to hope the rest of his teammates can hold on to this, because Epsilon are going for it, bearing in mind. Boost comes out. This should be a double any day of the week. There's one. Spraying for the second. Jesp, good timing on this. And, well, Freddie B was putting up some numbers, but time now is ticking, and there's nothing left here.
Smoke going to go down, just trying to bait them in towards this bomb, but it doesn't matter. Pickles is going to take his head off, and that flank from Jesp was absolutely perfect. Timed it well, could have taken the initial shot, doesn't, plays it patiently, gets 2 for the work as well. And the second that happens, you can almost tell that the retake just falls apart, because the remaining 2 players are going, okay, there's somebody behind us. We have to be watching for this as well as trying to retake a site, and it's just not going to happen from then. So back to pistols, a little bit invested into utility as well. And this is all about just maybe trying to limit the buy that Endpoint can get in the next round, not expecting them to win this one.
You're kind of in double eco territory anyway. Unless Epsilon just keep buying into this, which I hope they don't. I really hope they don't just keep buying throughout this one. They really don't need to. They've got so many rounds to play with. No need to rush it. Take a couple of rounds away. Barbar, gonna look towards bedroom, does spot 1, takes a little bit of flak from it, gonna fall off it however. Getting the nades out of the T side, and Smooth's gonna find Jesp. Gun was recovered for a second, but Charlie takes it away. Is Freddy gonna strike here? No, this is not the round, surely. The trades are decent for the CT side, and they still have players at both bomb sites. Now you've got to be pushing close, a little bit unpredictable. You almost don't expect a player to be this far forward at this point. So he's gonna commit towards that new wall. I guess newish. Oh, a lovely dink as well. Imi's been spotted. Now Barbar needs to try and be relevant to this as much as possible. Maybe buying time, making sure they commit to this. This could be over if they get this one right.
Yeah, Maeve peeks out, already takes down 1 more, leaves it onto Pickles. It's a clutch versus pistols. Molotov going to be going out. Yes, it's the wrong angle, but still gets the shot in the end. It's all onto Barbar. He's retrieved an AK as well. And he's actually going to have the time to rotate. The bomb not going down. He doesn't have a kit, but that's not going to pay too much of a fact. The smoke is actually going to fade as well. I think he's just about got away with it behind the fountain, but has to peek out and try and find information, and he wins the duel. Thankfully, Pickles will keep Endpoint alive, but again, only pistols in that round, and it's a little bit too close, especially considering now there's going to be a buyback.
Yeah, with that damage done, really good work from Epsilon. Incredibly close stuff. Charlie Pickles, though, bit of a backbone so far.
Oh, the pick play coming out.
Yep.
Double AWP.
Smooth and Barbar, so both well and truly able to put numbers on the board. Imi, though, holding the other side. Now, last time it was mostly Smooth who won that battle. This could be a difference, though.
Yeah, we'll see if it... Maybe it's just the T side. Maybe it's not the Smooth is the better AWPer. We'll just have to wait and see. But it looks like both AWPers at the moment are just playing very passively. They're going to wait for somebody to peek in, of course. Eventually, they have to take one of these angles, but Barbar, screw that idea. Straight out, Imi's gone. And we won't get to see the jaw of the primary AWPers because the secondaries found the kill.
Apps control going to start to be worked towards from Endpoint. They don't have anyone on Banana, though, and that bomb's all the way down by T stairs, and Barbar still fancies it.
Jesp doesn't have armor.
Has he forgotten to buy it? Please tell me he's not forgotten to buy it. We check the money in a moment's time once everything goes a little quiet. Barbar going to spot an angle, going to fall off it. Did see him for a second. Quick flash behind him to ensure that he can't... Oh, Lord above. Why are you forgetting to buy armor? Henry G's going to have a lovely time breaking this one down. No armor purchase.
Well, especially he died. Like, how do you even...
Don't know. Barbar, though, going to make it hurt. Jesp goes down, punished for his crimes, and Barbar again going to bring this one home, it seems. Epsilon now 5v2. Endpoint might have just run out of steam.
Yeah, and Barbar definitely hasn't. He's now picked himself up 4 kills in this round. It's going to be Mighty Max trying to flank him from behind. If he gets Cosmine, that does give him a route back towards the side, but they know exactly where he is now. Completely surrounded, 20 seconds left to go, and Barbar, of course, finishes the game with an ace. Absolute slaughter. In the end, it started to look like they could get some rounds together, but it didn't. I never believed, I'll be honest, I never believed.
Are you not a believer, Tom?
No.